chapter number 6, and this is the weight cut psychology. Wow, this is another lecture, very, very interesting and very important, because we all know what means going through the weight cut, and this is also what makes the fighting sports so different from any kind of sports. The fact that we have to be in a precise weight category, this makes everything completely different on another level, because the stress of making first this, let's say, this test is another competition, is a competition prior the real competition, because if we don't pass that test, we are out. So the psychological stress, physical and psychological stress that any boxer goes through is absolutely unbelievable. And this is why we as coaches, we need to be very prepared to support them, to cuddle them also in this moment, because it's very tough. And coach, once again, I want to refer to your own experience. If you remember, unless you were super heavyweight, you remember what you had to go through for doing your weight cut. And then there is many kind of physics. So there is the ones that have little problems, the one that really struggles, or the ones that they have a particular body. They're told they're very skinny and they want to be in a lower category. So for them, in that case, that's one of the most dramatic weight cuts. So we all know how tough is this, but what is important that we as coaches, we try to understand how to help, not only to make the training, to make the nutrition plan, and of course the goal to reach that kind of weight at that time, but we need to go backstage, in this case, what's happening in the brain of our boxer, to try to avoid bad things to happen. All right, okay, let's see what I've written here in the book. So the weight cut psychology. Now, one of the most dramatic phases during a training camp is the weight cut. Several psychological phases, including emotions, tough thoughts, etc., are affecting the boxer while performing the weight cut. What I mean with tough thoughts is when literally you are struggling. You are struggling so much, and you start thinking in a dark way, bad stuff. I'm not gonna make it. And then because when you really are pushing to make your weight, and you are doing so much sacrifices, and you are pushing your body and your mind literally over the limit, many things can happen. And we all know all the boxes are different. Every person is different, and the reactions might be truly unlimited. We don't know what can happen. And trust me, you need to be ready also to acknowledge that very bad thoughts might go through the head of your boxer, because that's a very, as I said in the fourth word of this chapter, dramatic phase. Is a dramatic phase. Now let's see what I've written here again. So anything can happen, and the boxer can show anger, emotional, aggressiveness, feeling blue, feeling down, craziness, or all of them, because can be an up and down on a daily basis. Because remember, they are training as crazy. They are mostly not eating and not drinking. So, and they cannot do this and that. Then at some point they might feel very weak. And then also the mind, if the mind will lose them, we leave them, sorry, then everything will follow. So this is why psychological support at this stage is a must, is very important. You must be there to support. And that's also remember what we were discussing in the previous chapter, regarding the personal environment, when I suggested you to have the parents of your boxers to be your seconds, especially now where you need to know that the boxer is about to be healthy when he's not under your eyes, so you have under control of the situation, if he's eating or not, or if he's doing anything like we mentioned already before, like vomiting because he's scared not to make the weight, or if he's sleeping enough, he's drinking. So whatever you have on your plan, you must control it 24/7. So having the parents as your seconds, that will be the way to keep everything under control as it is. All right, now let's go back to the book now. Also can happen physical major issues, ending up unconscious right on the scale. This happened many times, causing several issues to the body because of deep starving while training hard to make the weight, etc., etc. Now, this, yes, you can, when the body is going through this very tough weight cut, also is getting weaker in that specific moment. So the risk of injuries is also higher. And if we get some, also already this feeling is affecting the mind. And if something little even happen in that moment while still performing the weight cut, the mind can be truly impressed, and then reactions might be very bad. So this is why we must keep our eyes open, have all the people working with us to protect the boxer, to walk him or her until the very moment to do the weight cut, then refuel, everything must be planned. Remember also, coach, one of the biggest mistake is doing the weight cut at the very end of the preparation. That's absolutely wrong. That's why one of the reason why sometimes things goes nuts, very bad. Why? Because you should plan the weight cut accordingly months before to have a natural weight loss in a healthy way. Okay, so let's say you need to lose 4 kilos. Great. The one of the way of losing weight that we recommend is half kilo per week. So if you know that the boxer in a healthy way can lose half kilo in a week, you have 2 kilos per month. So if it's 4 kilos, you need at least 2 months to healthily perform a weight cut without even realizing it. All right, you. If you think it could be serious, ask me to call you. Sorry, here my my phone started talking. We will fire this phone, but anyway, no problem. This is always recorded. I don't need to cut anything. We are teaching, so rethink again. If you go this way, this healthy way, bam, no problem at all. The mind will be sharp the whole time because they will not even notice. It's just nutrition plan, like soldier. You have to do your training. You have to follow the plan, which is done accordingly with your body and with your needs, because your body is reacting to this and this and this specifically, and then no problem. But most of the time, coach, because we are in boxing since many years, that unfortunately in many parts of the world still the weight cut be performed at the very last moment. This is why we have things like I've written here in the book, and ending up unconscious right on the scale. So we are risking the life of our boxer. So we need to be very careful. Let me check here. Yeah, we still have more from the book. So let's go. Let me read for you now the next page. So the coach must be aware that this kind of emotions and physical issues because of the weight cut can happen. That's the reason why the coach must support and help the boxer in any how and ways as possible to go through it. Any aspects of the boxer health must be taken care from the coach. This is, you see, this confirming what I was already explaining to you. Why is so important for the coach to know every step taken by the boxer during the weight cut process? And here I'm mentioning once again those things that we might not see. Listen to this, because most of the time the boxer is struggling with the weight, and to make it could possibly do dangerous things affecting the own health and sometimes leading to tragedies. Yes, because if they do very stupid things because they are so scared not to make the weight, and then they might truly harm themselves, and then unfortunately sometimes some tragedy could happen, and we don't want this, because we as coaches, remember, our first rule is safety of the boxer. Let's continue from the book. Now, the coach must be more than sure that the boxer is following his or her guidelines and instructions by all means. So that's why I'm suggesting you once again, when you planning is amazing. Planning is is a way that make you feel super professional, organized, and in control of everything. So it literally empowers you. You need this, because if you plan, you know everything. Whatever is happening, you know. And then if you, as I mentioned before, you have your seconds in the house that are also controlling for you, bam, you are absolutely controlling the whole situation, and nothing will happen because your eyes are everywhere. Let's see here now. To understand if the boxer is not hiding dangerous actions, the coach will use the skills of reading the body message. See how everything is connected in this book, because the psychological management of the boxer is one thing only, where you get everything in once. So this is why, with the body messages, let's say your boxer can, yeah, coach, yeah, it's okay. But then you see that also saying it's okay, there is something that is missing. And you did recognize it, because your high skills of reading body messages helped you to recognize it, to see it. Bam! I see it now. Okay. Now you understand that something is wrong. All right. So you will acknowledge the fact that something is not going as predicted. So you need to take a different way, and then help your boxer to succeed healthily. Let me check here for weight cut psychology. We should be okay, I guess. All right. So this was chapter number 6. Thank you very much, coaches. And I'll see you in the next. Boom! Nailed it.